I came here in 20, what is it now, or 21. This is my third year. But I returned home in 2018. And everything was by divine intervention. And also by divine intervention is meeting Dr. Mapuri. So everything for me is divine intervention, because if you ask me if I was going to be in Jamaica about 5 years from now, I would say, you're crazy. When I left high school in 1980, even though I look like Senator Albin, the same age group. You see how we look? Good, don't it? 1980, I left high school. And since then, I was educated overseas. All my formative studies, went to Great Lakes, Illinois, joined the United States Navy, left there, went to the federal government at Bethesda Naval Hospital, that's in Washington, D.C. It's a President Hospital. Got educated there, University of Miami, University of Maryland, and came back home. Then I came back home, went into politics. It didn't work. Everybody know about the NDM. But the good thing about it then, the NDM was the only political party that got 5% in a national vote, and it's worldwide, and a lot of people don't know this. We created history back then. Anyway, that didn't work out. And and I went back to America, and I went back to America in 2006 and went back to school for another 7 years non-stop and dealt with healthcare to the highest level. I understand there is more to come. So COVID is preparing us. It's over 100 years we have never seen anything like that. And Mr. Hill mentioned to all of us earlier our inflation rate, our unemployment rate, and trust me, everybody forget that we had COVID, which 2 years by 6 o'clock, you're locked down. And we have recovered our health care. Every disappointment is for a good reason. So nobody knew the problems the public hospitals had until COVID. So now they know, and government has gone further to add more for our budget. Never before we have seen so much ambulance in this western region. 8 we bought last year, one time. Western Children Adolescent Hospital coming on. The SMO is here. We have already selected her, Dr. Colleen Davis. We have the Cornwall Regional Health, the Cornwall Regional Hospital, the rehabilitation program that's going on right now. That is coming on also. I will not tell you when, I'll just say soon. soon. But the Western Children is the middle of next year. We have changed a lot. We have aligned ourselves with the public sector and the private sector with salaries. So the mass migration that you're seeing with professionals and all of that, we kind of tempering it down, because our nurses, even though the senior ones are leaving, we're putting in younger ones, and they are not so quick to run anymore like before, because the headhunters are coming, because nowhere on the planet was prepared for what happened recently, or were they prepared for the coming home of the baby boomers, which include Mr. Hill there and myself and most of you here. We are in the waiting area now at the airport. We're next. And because it's a big cohort group, the world was not prepared. So everybody is scrambling now for nurses and technocrats and all of that to deal with the accident and emergency rooms that are filled everywhere, and the internal medicine departments and wards that are filled everywhere, because our group, we drink liquor enough, we party, and some of us did smoke marijuana enough to see a whole lot of things with that cohort group. We were the revolutionists in those times, and we did not exercise. So the non-communicable disease that's taking us over, the lung disease, the cancer disease, all of these things, the dialysis, all of that.
You would have heard it over and over again. We will want to provide a nearshore solution to our Indian partners for your North American clients. So we are positioning ourselves as a KPO destination to be able to service your clients right here from Jamaica. The global digital services for us is really on a trajectory. We are now moving up the value chain. As you can see, I'm wearing the branded shirt, Upsource Jamaica, because what we're trying to say to our investment community is that we have the track record in our BPO offering, and we're now looking to move up the value chain to what we're referring to as Upsource Jamaica. Our tagline is outsource to play, upsource to win. And we're offering you that opportunity to win with us as partners here in Jamaica in the global digital services field. So thank you for being here, and I look forward to your questions. I hand over now to my colleague, Carol Straw.
Again, as my colleague Conrad indicated, you would have heard of our performing economies. You would have heard of how the sectors are performing. But I just want to leave you with some takeaways for tourism. Our Minister of Tourism, Minister Ed Bartlett, you would have seen or heard of him in the press speaking about how well our country has been performing in the tourism sector and the number of awards that the country and even he himself has won as a result of the performance. So the first thing I want you to take away, and let me test it by seeing if you know. Does everybody know Usain Bolt? Does everybody know Bob Marley? And who has heard of jerk chicken? The power of the brand. Okay? So our brand is so powerful, and your investment here in this country will only help to enhance that. The second thing is that Jamaica is a performing destination, and our tourism, the numbers, I mean, we like everybody else got hit by COVID, but we were also one of the first countries in the region to open for business, right? So we started welcoming back tourists, and our tourism industry has grown from strength to strength. As a matter of fact, we were targeting 5 million tourists between 2020 and 2025, and it's highly likely that we're going to achieve that number in 4 years. So we are doing well there. And then there are a number of niches that you can look at. We're well established in the all-inclusive space, but we also have a number of luxury EP or non-all-inclusive properties. We have the meetings, incentives, congresses, and events, the MICE market that is literally untouched and shows a lot of potential for development here. There's also medical tourism and just high-end or barefoot luxury type accommodation and attractions that can be done here. So many niches that you can look at, and of course Airbnb, growing by itself, is doing pretty well. The other thing is that our destination is centrally located, so we're near to all the major gateways. 1 hour, 1.5 hours from Miami. If he drives the plane fast enough, you can get here in 1 hour and 15. You have 8 hours from London, 4 hours from Canada, 3 hours from New York. Easy to get to, easy to connect with anywhere else. Another takeaway for you is that as an investor in the country, you are free to own your asset. There's no restriction on owning your asset, and there is you are able to repatriate your profits, right? So no issues there. And our tax incentives are there. Once they're granted to you for a hotel development, you have it for the life of that development. No need to reapply to remodel your hotel and so forth. You remodel your hotel at will. The incentive gives you an extensive list of items that you can import free of import duty. And as I said, remodeling, which usually most people do every 3 years or so, is not an issue. So there are those things, and then we have a number of opportunities. I'm getting the time, but I don't want to leave without saying this, right? Apart from all those factors, our ADRs, our average daily rates, and our revenue per available rooms are pretty high. On record, it's around $370 or so for the ADR per night, but anecdotally, you hear between $600 to $800 per night. So good profits, right? And there are a number of opportunities that you can look at. Could you scroll to the lands that are available? There are a number of opportunities that are available that you can take advantage of all along our coastline. Just scroll through them, please. And in the government, we have established resorts in Montego Bay. You're here in Montego Bay, Ocho Rios, Negril, and Port Antonio. But there are other areas that are now developing, such as Trelawney, which is nearby. And we do have a project owner here, Dr. Winston Adams, who is planning to build a university town in Trelawney, which is just 15 minutes up the road. So there's an opportunity to invest in that. That involves a hotel, villas, a university campus, and of course, I think some of these opportunities you'll find very attractive. And the last thing I want to mention is that we have high quality, locally produced goods and services. And as an investor, you will not regret taking the opportunity to support our local economy by supporting these manufacturers of goods and services. They are well done and again contributes to enhancing your product. So since I only have 5 minutes, that's it in a nutshell.
Seek out partnerships between our countries. In terms of the sustainability aspect of agriculture, it goes without saying that with the concerns around food security, seeking out things for economic growth, and the climate change and environmental issues, it is really very important at this time. And our government is actually very much undertaking programs and initiatives to ensure that sustainability remains, that we are able to sustain the sector right up the value chain. As part of the background, I just would like to share with you that the agribusiness sector is an important sector for Jamaica. It accounts for combined both the fresh and the processed goods side for 15% or so of our GDP, and it employs a significant number of persons, 15% as it is. Just a look at the export side of things. For the fresh produce side, you can see that yam, just the whole root and tuber section, account for about 50% of what we're seeing in terms of our exports here. And then again, we have within it that areas that are doing quite well is our coffee, of course. Coffee is doing well, and our herbs and spices. There are significant opportunities on the fresh produce side. And when you go to the processed goods side, we're again seeing strong performances on our beverages side. And of course, you heard our president talk earlier on about orchard crops. Ackee is a very important crop at this point in time. There's so much demand for ackee. We can't even fill it. And it happens with so many of the other crops that we're talking about. And I'm speaking to ackee on the processed side here now. And so the opportunity exists for us to look at these. And it is not just in the typical traditional areas, but how do we begin to take advantage of some of the trends that we're seeing and come into the value-added space. For example, the Generation X's, for example, used to be there wanting all this ultra-processed goods. There's now this gap here where they're looking for healthier lifestyles, and so you're seeing that as a big opportunity space. In addition to that, gluten-free products, alternative proteins, things like these within the value chain are opportunity areas for us to consider. As part of what the government is doing, it is creating space using previously owned sugar lands and agri-parks, creating special agri-parks, which are zones that put together various facets of services within their roads, the infrastructure and technical services, to ensure that we have the inputs, the intermediate goods, etc., to support our sector, and also to the value-added side, and also for our export markets. We spoke to the areas of opportunities generally, but I just want to add to it the opportunities around aquaculture, great opportunities there. In the livestock area, poultry is doing extremely well. We have even established some outward investments in this space as well, and the post-harvest facilities to support it, and distribution centers, cold storage, etc. Finally, there are some other areas of opportunities that I'd like to touch on in the organic space. There's a high demand for organic products. Agritourism is another investment area. Carol is right here talking about tourism. How do we integrate both? And of course, AgTech. My minister spoke earlier on about the way you operate in the area of technology. This is an opportunity to come in for partnerships, equity partnerships, to work with some of our current investors, not just in the fresh produce area, but also in the processing area, to bring this level of technology to bear on our industry. The value propositions Shelette spoke to earlier on. I just want to add that the export markets are real. Minister, you have been going out there, and they are real markets, real demand out there for all the products that we're talking about. So that's the only addition to those that Shelette shared earlier on that I would like to put on the table. And just reiterate, technology transfer is something that we see as an area for collaboration. Your expertise around the area of research and development can also add tremendous value, and we can talk about all of this, and capacity building, technical support as well, and we can have some conversation on it. And intended to share with you how we have seen some strong cases here in Jamaica where we have applied technology, like the time is out, but there are areas in which we have actually done this, and we're seeing tremendous benefits from it, both within the fresh produce and the agro-processing space. Finally, I just want to invite you to speak with us after, anytime, so that we can start that conversation. I think it's important for us to begin the conversation, and for me, that's a major next step to having something happen for both our countries. Thank you.
We are talking about come set up business, do business with Jamaica. At this point in time, we are talking about like 10,000 feet high. Like if we have to really come and set up and invest and set up an office here or a company here, how do you think the system here helps in getting the basics to be done? Or how many days would it take for you to really set up everything and get the first employee hired? Or the management level hire first, or the entry level hire first? How does it work?
I was listening carefully to the interview with the minister and Dr. Chowdhury, and he was speaking primarily to those same types of questions. But what is really helpful for us here is that we have an anchor tenant right here at BIMS, Right Software, that has established their business in Jamaica and are ready to open their doors real soon. And one of the discussions that we had with the principal of Right Software, Mr. Krishna, earlier this week, is the ease at which you are able to do business in Jamaica. Yes, there are some issues around certain aspects of the getting your business up and running, but nothing that we at JAMPRO, being your investment facilitator agency, cannot help you to overcome. That's part of the reason why we're positioning ourselves as your partner, because we recognize to navigate the landscape here might be a little challenge because of the different cultures and the expectations, and we have presented ourselves as your facilitation partner to ensure that you have access to all that you need to have your business open, up and running in the shortest possible time.
I'm going to just say that the company's Office of Jamaica, which is one of the 20 agencies in my ministry, is very much geared and is constantly being improved to make it easy. As Shulette said earlier today, the World Bank, when it was publishing that report before they got in trouble, it was an Asian fact, and they got in trouble and stopped publishing that report. We were the 6th easiest country to do business with, and it's easy to set up your business here. But I want to go further. Yes, you'll get a lawyer, but the first place you want to go is not to a lawyer. Why do I say that? I don't have anything against lawyers. You're going to have to go to them eventually because you're going to have to get your thing set up. The first place you want to go is to one of the agencies, JAMPRO. Go to JAMPRO. Go to the company's office. Go to Jamaica Special Economic Zone Authority. They lead you through this. The lawyer, everything the lawyer tells you is going to charge you for it. We're going to give you most of everything you need for free. You only get from them what they actually have to sign. But you, especially if you're American bound, and that has nothing to do with Shri. I have nothing against Shri. Where is he? Right here. You know, the Americans, they love to go to lawyers. Good for them. All right, lawyers make a lot of money in the process. But we want our lawyers to make money too. But we want our businesses to find it easy to do business in Jamaica and not get the gobbledygook that lawyers have to give you to make the law work. So go to JAMPRO, go to Jamaica Special Economic Zone Authority, go to Company Office of Jamaica, come to the ministry. But I'm going to ask Dr. Gunnar to walk you through how does he get all this done? How does he get all his stuff from Gujarat? Of course, the marble comes from Gujarat and so on. He'll tell you all that, and he will tell you how JAMPRO and our other agencies helped him not to pay any huge duties. Doc, you're on. And Kelly Dawn will wrap that up part as to how we get this done, because I want your Indian colleagues to understand how well you can do in Jamaica by just following the rules that we, the government, set for you.
So I have one problem to mention to you, sir. JAMPRO does not treat Jamaicans right. They give priority to Indians. This is my...
No, he's both.
As a 26 years, I have been carrying Jamaican passport. I'm a bona fide citizen of this lovely country. I'm a citizen. I go to India with a Jamaican passport. My problem here is I have applied for my work permit sometime in January. My faculty members are here. I did not get my permits, sir, on some of them. But JAMPRO, I introduced Right Software to JAMPRO. How many weeks you got your work permit, sir, for your employees? So I must say that there's a lot of discrimination, right? The preferred treatment you're getting, Indians are getting preferred treatment over Jamaicans. So what I'm saying to you, when I introduced Right Software to JAMPRO, they were already established an office. Mr. Shoban, he's here, Director of Operations, Caribbean Office for Right Software. Lawyers and circles. No. Let's meet, Conrad. Immediately we had one meeting with the CEO of CESA and the president of JAMPRO. Everything happened just like that. I was shocked that our applications were left behind. They got all the approvals. So this is what we are talking about. Ministry, the Honorable Minister has 20 agencies under his power. Every name you call, it's there. Now, what it says that it's nothing but single window approach we have in India. That's my experience here now.
How did you build this?
Yes, so that's where I'm coming now. I I'm very proud to say today, in this country, when the Jamaican government moved legislation from old free zone to Jamaica Special Economic Zone Authority, I want to say this to you. I'm a proud company, a citizen of this country. I received the first Special Economic Zone license under this government's regime. It was given to me. Even the Medical Association of Jamaica, when they introduced the Best Physician of the Year award, the inaugural award was given to me, not for a Jamaican-born stalwart. What does it say to you? This is a country, home away from home. This is where we must invest every dollar and cent if we want to retire and invest. Now, coming to my experience here, when I wanted to buy the tiles for this building, 50,000 square feet, it was costing me $275,000 US. All I did is, I used my Jamaican Special Economic license. We got 7 container loads of tiles. I paid only $75,000. There's no middleman. There are no taxes, no import taxation, no VAT, no GST, nothing. And in return, what happened? Most of you, when you came inside, wow, beautiful, beautiful. Do you know all these things came from India? And this is what Jamaica Special Economic Zone has done to me as an investor in this country. You buy the real estate, you build Special Economic Zone. Every dollar you earn is income tax free for perpetuity.
In rent.
Right.
Everybody.
Rent. As a landlord, all the rental revenues, it is tax free. Buy goods, buy materials, you don't pay any tax. And what we could deliver is to the country, we upgraded the country's product. We are a country's product. The benefit what we got, we did not pocket it as investor. You know what we did? We poured back into the country's asset. You know one thing, we own nothing today. The people of the country owns everything. We are just custodians for the time being. We all have shelf life. But what we are entrusted with the obligation as the CEOs and the entrepreneurs, we create wealth and generate wealth for generations to come. That's what we are learning from you, sir, JS sir. So having said that, come to Jamaica. You just come to Jampro. You don't need even Gunamupuri. I'm just a poster boy for you. But the job is done by honorable ministers, all agencies, president, the CEO of authorities. And on the ground, I'm a little partial. Montego Bay is my destination.
I agree.
Conrad, Conrad, my life has been so, I don't know who is coming. And I heard that Conrad has been in the airport, there, everywhere. Fantastic job, Conrad. This is your show. He's the man behind all these things. So, don't worry. Come here, I'm here 32 years. You see what's happening today. I came with 2 main bags and 1 roll-on, that's it. I came with nothing. Everything I have today, Jamaica gave.
Yeah, I have a question for food and agri sector. Are there any duties and taxes when you import agri or food raw material from other Caribbean countries? That's my first question. And any taxes if you export the processed material from here to US or any other European countries?
On the production side, we have the productive input relief incentives under that, which allow you to bring in the raw materials, your equipment, all intermediate materials duty free. And there are other associated benefits that you have with that. In terms of the export side, we work apart from the technocrats and the kind of technical support you get in getting ready for exports, there are the trade agreements that you can, once you manufacture or produce your goods here in Jamaica, I hope I understood your question, once you produce here in Jamaica, you're able to have access to these duty-free entry of your products into these markets that we have the trade agreements with, and we do have them with all the major markets and with our regional markets and others as well. We can talk more about it as well.
You did well. In the case of the CARICOM, we have an arrangement where on the coated, which is an economic arrangement between CARICOM countries, you can get a special tax relief if you grow sugar and produce sugar up to 75% of the need in CARICOM. You get a CET relief, which allows you that you declare to CARICOM, show them that you can make 75%, and then they will put on a barrier, a tax barrier of 10 and sometimes up to 40%. In fact, in sugar, it's 40%, so that you get protection. But you have to produce, you have to show that you can produce the material up to the 75%. What I've been seeing, people are looking at the technological stuff that you're looking at, batteries, the ion batteries. They're looking at that and saying that we're producing, but when you find out is that they get a few pieces from a foreign country in Asia and put it together and say that they're producing. They're not producing anything. So you have to make sure you can prove that you are producing. But once you prove that, and the quoted secretariat sees it, and it goes to all the ministers in the region, then vote on it. And yes, once that CET goes on, you get a protection. So it's harder for somebody to come in to the CARICOM region. So what I'm saying to you, I'm glad you asked that question. This is where you come to the ministry again, and you say, what is being produced in CARICOM? Better yet, what is not being produced in CARICOM? That we can, given your amazing facilities, can quickly produce 75% and then lock down the market. From Jamaica, put the business in Jamaica. We will work with you to make sure you do that, and you employ people here, you get protection for your product, and you make money. And we love to see that people make profits, because when you make profits, we get higher taxes without raising the tax rate. All works for all of us.
We spoke about SEZ authority. There's something that we also need to understand. The ease of doing business in the country, it also comes with the financing. This property, which is 50,000 square feet, it was built by the funding we received from the Development Bank of Jamaica. Mr. Paul Chin is here from DBJ. He's a government bank, and I pay only 50% of the market price from the private capital markets. Scotia Bank is here. Barita is here. They are here to meet with you all. And the ease of doing business with DBJ is there's a cap. We received the highest, which is $1.5 billion for this medical school building. But for your kind of investment, if you need more, we have capital markets. We have Barita Investments is here, Barita Bank, and we have Scotia Investments sitting there. Luckily, our Chamber of Commerce president is from Scotia Bank. He's sitting there. And Sarah from Scotia Investments is there. You can also talk to the private banks also. It's very easy. Once you comply, it's very easy to do business. Thank you.
So I think since in the interest of time, we let the minister take over the panel. Okay, so in the interest of time, I would request if anybody else has any questions for the panel, we could do one round of closing remarks from each of you.
Let me welcome each and every one of you to the Republic and invest.
So I really want to add back, because it's important for us to recognize that you being our Indian partners, we are Commonwealth countries, yes? That means access to Jamaica is as easy as if you were traveling from one city in India to the next. The truth is, you don't require a visa to enter Jamaica as a Commonwealth citizen. And you can be here in Jamaica and apply for your work permit while you are in Jamaica. So I want to make that very clear in my closing remarks.
I just want to say that Jamaica is a very resilient country. During the global financial crisis and also during COVID, we lost not one investor. Our tourism investors may have slowed down the progress of their projects, but they didn't pull out. And now they are all most of them are in a heavy expansion mode.
And I want to take it back to food security. With the concerns that we're seeing out there, there's a lot. We have the big markets are close to us, and a number of these markets are nearshoring or reshoring as part of the concern in ensuring that they have sustainable supply chains. So here's where we need to go, the trade agreements that we spoke to and that the benefits that our minister spoke to. These are opportunities for us, and we look forward to having the conversations with you going forward on agriculture. Thank you.
To stay informed about the startup ecosystem, subscribe to My Startup TV.